December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. So distant in time, but for some, still vivid in memory. Harold Bassinger, a former member of the United States Navy who was at Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, remembers it like it was yesterday.
Hey, you just passed 8 battleships and this and that, and you mean somebody's going to attack us? It ain't never happened. You know what I mean? But it did.
17-year-old Harold Bassinger remembers that he couldn't believe Pearl Harbor was being attacked. It had started just like any other day with his normal routine duties.
So I used to be a bow hook in a motor launch. What that is, you're like a taxi cab. Somebody wants to go here, there, and then you're all around. And it's Sunday, and everybody just laid back. But then the coxswain, he's the one with the launch. He says to me, he says, "Hey, if you wanna, go back on a fantail," he says, "and get yourself a cigarette, because you couldn't smoke in the launch, you know." So then I'm telling the guys are, "Hey, it's target practice. These guys are really good." And they blew the hangar apart and everything else, but I'm getting everybody to come back on a fantail and watch them, you know. Well, it was the Japs is what it was. It was a target practice when we seen the meatballs come by, you know. Then that's when all hell broke loose then.
Still, Harold felt he was in a safe area during the attack.
You felt you were safe, but man, at the time, they couldn't get to us in a way because we had 5 destroyers alongside of us, tied up. You follow me? Now, you take 5 destroyers tied up, add up all their guns from each one, you got a hell of a lot of firepower there, you know what I mean? And so only a fool would try to fool with it, you know?
While Harold had some close calls, he realized that the situation was very serious.
Near misses. Picked the ass end up, you know? He thought we were going down. But the bomb was so close that it just raised the ship up, you know? You know, when you see battleships going up in smoke, something's wrong somewhere.
Harold assisted many of his fellow service members by delivering supplies during the attack, but discovered there were some he just couldn't help.
I had to go back on the launch again then. And then we would go to various ships that needed help then. And it was sad in a way because guys were trapped in there and they're banging on the damn steel, you know what I mean? So you knew there were people alive in the ships there, you know? But you couldn't do much about it.
Even now, as Harold Bassinger reflects on that day 75 years ago, he finds it hard to believe.
It's unbelievable, you know. It ain't nothing but battleships, our battleships, right? and not a one was left floating such a long time ago. You know, you still can't believe it, you know. But it did happen.
Thank you for your service.